Good morning. Just with the way things are going on in the world today, with the conflict in the Middle East, with the oil prices, cost of living, just thought it'd be pertinent to put out a little video explaining the advantages of living off grid. With like I say, right now the world oil prices are climbing, could be as high as over $100 a barrel. So that increases the cost of everything: cost of food, cost of transportation, cost of living. And it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better in the foreseeable future, especially with the way things are going in Canada. We can't seem to get another pipeline built. Our processing, we don't have many refineries to process our own hydrocarbon. So we got to rely on shipping it out, the rough crude, get it refined, ship it back in. There's even been a recent report that we imported natural gas from Australia, whatever it is, 25,000 kilometers into Canada. We got all the natural gas and oil we're going to ever need, but yet we got to ship it in. But regardless, it is what it is. The world situation is what it is. But just some of the points I wanted to make about living off grid and the problem of dependence. We're always dependent on the government for living, right? Everything basically is run through the government. They take all of our tax money in, and they put out these services. But the more you do not need to rely on these services, the better off I think you are. And this is where living off grid comes in handy. A lot of work, but so much freedom and independence. Yeah, modern life, as you know, is built around dependence on the systems. You got the grid itself, huge system, and it goes down. I know when I'm looking through social media, just recently, actually, it's kind of, I didn't chuckle, but it made me think. People are going, "Hey, is the power off in your area? The power's off here. Is power off in your area?" I'm thinking, no, power's not off in my area. Sun comes up, I got power. Not a problem. But I can see when you're hooked to the grid, which most people have to do, I understand that. But I'm just saying, if it's possible in your world to not be hooked to the grid and living independently, living off grid, you got a lot more freedom, a lot more independence, and a lot less dependent on the systems. Yeah, for instance, I got wood heat, so I don't have to rely on natural gas. I do also have propane backup that I can easily go and get that myself, bring it in. If it went down, I'm on living in a forest here. I got lots of wood I can harvest and carry on with my heat. You know, 3-4 months of the year in Alberta here, sometimes more, depending on the winters. But so far, it was pretty good this winter, and we're getting into spring now. Now, the way things are going now in the Strait of Hormuz, Iran is basically blocking it. And I think about 20% of the world oil comes through there. So obviously, it's going to skyrocket everything because unless we can get it going, flowing again, it's definitely going to be a shortage on oil and gas, and right away, prices go up. Right, see it at the pumps every day. It's going up, and of course, everything is transported, trucked by ship, by train, by plane, whatever. Takes fuel, so the cost of everything is going to be going up further and further. There's nothing an individual can do about it other than being more independent themselves. So self-reliance, what is that? Well, you got to basically bring yourself down to the basics if you can. All right, because it's about what you need, not so much what you want. So, for instance, growing your own food, building things, managing your resources, producing your own power, like I say, solar and wind. I got a small wind system. It's not producing much right now, but I got to develop it more. That's the thing. You get basic systems in place, and then you build them. Start out small and then add on to. Build it, right? As you go. Learn as you go also. I'm learning a lot. I've been off grid a year now. Downsized from BC. It just got priced out of the market, basically. I would have liked to live off grid in BC, but it's just a sliver of land out there is 3 times what it is here in Alberta. So I moved to Alberta. I like the way there seems to be a little more freedoms here and a little more independence, not so much government down your neck on every little thing you do. So seemed like a good move, and so far it's been working out quite well. Another way to stay more independent when you're living off grid is rainwater capture. If you're lucky enough to have a well, that's even better, or a creek or a pond close by. That's great. More independence for you. Myself, I'm developing my own dugouts, my own water systems, and I also do rain collection, filtration for drinking, cooking. With the rising costs of everything, your utility bills will go up. Off grid, no utility bills, right? Your mortgage goes off. I got my place paid for, no mortgage. Do have taxes. You always got to pay taxes, which is kind of a crazy system. You buy your land outright, you pay taxes forever. If you don't pay your taxes, you can lose your land. But you got to work somewhat within the system if you want to be in society, right? So I pay my taxes, pay whatever I have to pay, just like everybody else. But if you work your system so you don't have to pay those, all the better, right? Food inflation. What can the one person do, or what can we do as individuals? Try to get the best deals you can, but also grow your food. I got lots of land out here. I'm going to be putting in a good big garden this year, so stay tuned for that. But you grow enough food for the season that you can make it through the winter. Do your canning, drying, freeze drying, freezing, different ways of keeping your food to last over the seasons where you can't grow it. Supply chain disruptions. You have your systems in place, like I've been saying, and you have storage, and I'm not so much a prepper, but you should have enough food stored so you can last at least a month. Like myself, I could go probably right now 2 months without having to go to town if I wanted to. But of course, I like to get to town, like to socialize like everybody else. But if you have the systems in place where you don't have to, then when things get bad, as they could, you can hunker down and still live the good life. So, kind of in conclusion of this short video, global events like war, problems with oil supplies, problem with the supply chain. It doesn't have to be a stressful situation for you if you're living off grid. Life is simpler, more independent, far less control by raising fuel prices and global conflict. In fact, it feels great just to turn off the news, don't even come on the internet if you don't have to. I do it from time to time, but of course, I like to make videos. I like to put them out there. I like to get feedback. So I'm not going to be completely non-connected to the internet. And I use the Starlink out here, which has been working quite well. Thanks a lot, Elon. So in conclusion, I'm just saying, if you ever considered living off grid, it can be a great lifestyle. Of course, it's all individual. Some people can't handle being alone for a day, right? But it's an individual thing. But it does save you a lot of money, saves you a lot of stress, saves you a lot of headache. And you don't have to depend on the government for every little thing. There is things such as healthcare. I could think off the top of my head. Yet everyone's going to need healthcare, right? But if you stay in shape, eat well, exercise. Of course, exercising for me is just developing the property. You get out chopping wood, you get out working the garden. You're out there right now. I'm building a greenhouse, and that keeps me in shape pretty well. And but the better shape you are, the less you're going to need for the healthcare, which lowers the stress and demands on the systems so other people can use it. Plus, if I can stay out of the hospital, all the better, right? So yeah, what are your thoughts? I just want to put this video out there while everything's going on in the news there with the cost of living, with the way the government's doing things, and the way the government is not doing things. So I just want to get some feedback and see what you think about it. And let me know if you want more talking videos like this, and we can discuss things further. Canadian Dreamer out.